Okay, so now let's talk about some of these trips I've been on. So, when I was a freshman in college, I went to Columbia International University. And CIU is a school that's really focused on missions. But I kind of decided that I wasn't really trying to be a missionary. And then the Lord was like, ha ha ha, I got you. So, in January of 2012, that was still during that freshman year at CIU, an opportunity was presented for me to go on a short-term missions trip to Belize in Central America. And at that time, I was a teacher education major because I thought I wanted to be a teacher. And so I had the opportunity to teach in two schools. One was a Spanish speaking school, and the other was a Creole school where they spoke primarily French and English. And so that was really my first introduction to missions. Well, I guess my first introduction to it was watching Dr. Burgess go to and from Africa and other places. But my first missions trip was to Belize. And it really opened my eyes. I had a really great time. I went to Belize, and it was an awesome trip. I had an awesome time. I went with friends from CIU. I stayed for 2 weeks. That was my first missions trip, my first time out of the country, my first time on a plane. And the Lord really showed me that He is so much bigger than I thought He was. And that missions is everybody's responsibility. It's not just for Dr. B or for Reverend Green or for Reverend Hurd. It's for all of us to do. And so that was my first trip. And then I really wasn't sure what missions was going to look like after that. I thought that I was going to be going back to Belize, but I ended up not going back to Belize. And fun fact, my husband was actually on that trip I went on. He was one of the group leaders. At that time, we weren't dating. We were just friends. But he was on that trip, so that's kind of cool. So we both have a heart for missions, which is really great. So then my second missions trip was a trip to Kenya, East Africa, with the Gethsemane Association that we're a part of. And I knew that we had started a church. Ridgewood started a church in Kenya. And I knew that I wanted to go to Africa. And, there were previous years where I had wanted to go, but it just didn't work out. The Lord just didn't really release me to go. And what I mean by that is, I feel like the Lord tells us when to do things and how to do things. And previous years when I wanted to go, I don't think the Lord wanted me to go. And so last year was 2018, and I went on the trip that Ridgewood took. But the year before that was 2017, and I went on the trip that Gethsemane took. And it was amazing. My whole life changed. There's something amazing about Africa where you see all these beautiful people of color there's so many different aspects of it. Of course, there's so many different countries, and I love the country of Kenya. And these are people who love God. The hunger and the thirst for God there is so amazing, because here we're used to it. Most Americans have like 3 or 4 Bibles, and they don't even open them. And in Kenya, there are people who are dying to get the Word of God. In 2017 and 2018, we did these conferences. Now, 2017, we did a conference for the convention, the Baptist Convention of Kenya. And there were people who walked hundreds of miles just to come to the convention, just to hear classes and hear teaching and preaching and what we had to say. And so that was awesome. And then when I went in 2018 on the trip that Ridgewood took, we did door-to-door evangelism, which was so powerful because we got to meet all these people and get to know them one-on-one and talk to them about their families and their lives and pray with them and lead them in the prayer of salvation. And then at the end of the week, we were able to give people Bibles if they came to the classes that we taught. I got to preach at a revival at Ridgewood Missionary Baptist Church of Kenya. It was so awesome. So there are all these different experiences. But I guess my favorite of all of them was the look on people's face when you come into their home, because they feel like we carry a blessing. The people in Kenya, the people in Belize, they feel like we carry a blessing because we're doing the work of the Lord. And to be so welcomed into their home, just to pray, just to, read scripture, just to offer them, the plan of salvation, to see that they're so excited about something that so many people here take for granted, it definitely, changed my viewpoint. And it made me realize that missions is our responsibility. And everybody can't go. Everybody doesn't want to go. But for those who don't want to go, you've got to help send. If you know your friend wants to go on a missions trip, but you're like, I'm not about that life, then what you need to do is you need to pool all your resources. You need to help them with fundraising. You need to be a prayer partner for them. You need to support them. But if you want to go, you should take the initiative and you say, you know what, Dr. B, I really want to go to Africa. I really want to go this place or that place. Or you should talk to your parents and maybe they can find them. There are several missions organizations that you can be a part of. So anyway, I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that I can get some pictures uploaded on here for you guys. I love you all, and I miss you, and I hope you know that you all are oh so special to me. I think about you all the time. I'm loving my time at Lakewood, but there's no place like home. So my plan is to visit soon, but I don't know how soon. But it will definitely probably be in April, either April or March. So I love you guys, and I pray that you all will be moved towards working more in missions, not only in the foreign land, but even in your homeland.